Anne Brake, Assistant Director, Visitor Engagement and Interpretation at ACT Historic Places. So it's important for us to have events because that encourages people to come here for all different sorts of reasons. So with historic places, not everybody wants to come and have an historic house experience, but they might want to learn about the grasslands, or they might want to learn how to make a bee hotel, or come to a picnic with their family. So by having events, we encourage people to come along to our places, and then there's the opportunity for them to learn about other things while they're here. So that's pretty easy because each place has its own special things about it that are historically significant or important. So when we decide what programs we want to run, we build those programs around what's important about that site. So Lanyon Homestead is a very early Canberra property, but it was also a settler property that was quite successful and wealthy. Somewhere like Mugga Mugga is a much more humble place, and so Lanyon Homestead, the people who lived there had aspirations to show their wealth. So they had beautiful gardens and those sorts of things. There's spectacular trees and that sort of stuff. So that's a really strong reason for people to come. So when we're thinking about what we would do there, we do things like the jazz picnic so that people can come and sit in those beautiful grounds and enjoy them. But you wouldn't come here and sit in the grounds here for a picnic, but you would come for a walk about the native grasslands with somebody who is an expert in that. So you choose your events to support what's historically or environmentally significant about your site. Yes and no. Floriade is a really good opportunity to use a big event where a lot of people come to hook into, to, as we say, ride on their coattails. So they've got a really big marketing budget, and they have the opportunity to go out very broadly to a whole range of people. So our family audiences, our people who are interested in heritage, those sorts of things, are cultural tourists. And cultural tourists are people who come to Floriade as well. So people who are coming to Floriade are probably going to be interested, or some of them anyway, in the sorts of things that we do. So it's a really good opportunity for us to hijack some of those people and get them to come along to our events. That said though, a lot of the people who come to our places are locals, people who live in Canberra, and when we have an event, we have events associated with something like Floriade, because there's more exposure through their much bigger marketing budgets, then people go, oh, that's right, I forgot that place was there. This is a really good opportunity for us to come to that place. So it sort of works really well for us. The other thing too, though, is that for the people who come from outside of Canberra, who come to Canberra for Floriade, they may not know anything about Lanyon or Calthorpe's house or Mugga Mugga, but they may want to learn a little bit more about the place they've come to. So instead of just going to another thing that could be anywhere, it could be in Sydney, it could be in Melbourne, it could be in Canberra, they want to learn something about Canberra. So they come to something that's very much about Canberra. So it's a good opportunity for that as well. Our learning programs include what we call public programs. So we have formal programs and informal learning programs. So the formal ones are more like school-based programs. Informal ones are more like lifelong learning. So For the same sorts of reasons we've talked about, there's opportunity for people to learn about stuff while they're having a tourism experience. So instead of just being talked at, they can actually become involved in something and have the fun of doing things, but also learn something and enjoy the experience underneath an umbrella that is Floreat, that is about the environment, that's about flowers, that's about learning more, because even at the Floreat Central, it's not just about the flowers, there's opportunity to learn other things as well. So we think that our learning programs, our lifelong learning programs, have a really good place within the broader community offering for something like Floreat. An event like Floreat is a really good opportunity for putting things together in a package so that Canberra can sell itself, that ACT Historic Places can sell itself, and have a few things going that people sort of get caught up in the momentum of, and we'll go to this and then we'll go to that and then we'll go to something else. So they're really focused on that event. But at other times of the year, we run programs as well. So it's not just about hooking into a big festival. So sometimes we might do programs that connect around wellness. We've done a series of programs around wellness where people come and learn skills, work together. It's a community-based program, and it helps build resilience within the community. So again, we connect to the things that are important about our different sites. So one of the programs that we ran for that was a calotype workshop. And calotype is a very early photographic process, and we ran it on this veranda here, and people collected things from the environment, so leaves and sticks and flowers, and then laid them on paper that had been impregnated, and then exposed it to the sun for a period of time, and then you wash it and you create these beautiful little artworks. So people are doing things, they're talking to each other, they're looking at the environment, they're learning about things, and then they're producing a beautiful piece of artwork. So that's a fantastic way to get people involved in something and learning a little bit about these heritage places, because heritage places need to be supported and they need to understand how they're relevant to who we are today. So a workshop like that, or walk like today, where people are learning about the environment and particularly the very precious and endangered grasslands, they then start thinking, we really should support this, we really should look after our heritage, whether it's our environmental heritage or our built heritage. It builds their understanding. But I also believe that that flows on then into the way they treat each other and the way they treat others in the community, so that they can see differences but respect those differences, and so you have a more resilient community.